What's up, guys? This is Mayan. We are live at 5. Shout out to everyone on LinkedIn. Shout out to everyone on Facebook. And shout out to you guys on YouTube for watching. You know what to do if you're watching. Post where in the world are you watching from? And what's one thing that you're grateful for today? We're going to keep it relatively short for this LinkedIn Live today, but we're going to talk about something pretty fun and pretty relevant right now. I'm going to pull up the LinkedIn Live on my LinkedIn phone app so that I can answer any comments that are coming in or any questions. So you guys know if you have any questions, please comment and I will certainly address those. All right, so we're talking about virtual events. Have you guys been hearing about these? They have been popping up everywhere. All of the trade shows, all of the different music festivals, all of the different in-person events are starting to realize that going digital might have to be their solution, not only in the short term, but in the long run as well. I just got off an awesome consultation with a client who is doing just that. They are starting a virtual event, and it is centered around summer camps and kids, which I think is, again, a really interesting concept. Even as things go back to normal and things reopen from closure from this coronavirus, I think there's going to be a big shift and a new perspective of people just operating in digital space more. Like we've become used to it. I think a lot of people are not going to see a lot of value in going back to the traditional sense of operating, even in terms of, I think, schoolwork, how schools operate, or how summer camps operate. Those things are going to change on a large scale, in my opinion. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that everything's just going to go back to the way it was? That people really love in-person interaction so much that the digital can't match it? Because what I think is that as technology is progressing and as all these amazing developers have lost their jobs and been forced at home and are forced to start their own companies and start designing their own products, there's this massive, massive amount of creativity and potential that is actively currently being tapped into. And what's going to come out of that is a really enhanced ability to create human connected experience through digital space in a way that's never been done before. So whereas before it was a clear, easy decision to do in-person things if you really valued that human connection feeling because internet or digital space just couldn't deliver on it, that's changing to where you can make a digital experience almost feel like a real in-person experience. Now, I don't think that we're actually there yet. I still think that in-person has so many advantages and really leverageable assets that digital doesn't have. Just even in sense of physically, we can sense each other's energy when we're in close proximity to each other. You can't do that through digital space. You can kind of sense someone's energy. Like you guys can sense that I'm energetic, but you can't feel the energy the same way that if you were in the room with me, you would feel a different type of energy in addition to maybe what you do feel through the screen. So that's not something that, digital space can recreate. But can digital space recreate the feeling of meeting a new friend for the first time? Can it recreate the feeling of traveling to a new place from the comfort of your home? These I think, are the things that they're really starting to catch up on and develop well. So one interesting concept is the virtual trade show. Now, I actually feel like they're going a little bit back in time to maybe like 1999 with the graphics on these things, but they're creating these like Sims-like worlds. You guys remember The Sims? Where you create your own avatar. If you're a vendor, you have a virtual booth. It's a very cool, it's like you're in a video game, like you're in a role-playing interactive video game. And I think historically, gaming has been one of the strongest connectors of society outside of maybe storytelling. So we all know that stories have, for the entirety of humankind, connected people and supported culture building. So have games. Games are as old as stories. Since we could do anything, we've been playing games with each other because it is an amazing, amazing way to build relationships, build friendships, build community. All right, guys. So that's the gist of what I came on here to say, but really why I just got excited is I see some comments coming in. We got Liza Morales, what is good? She's saying that's exactly what we did on Cinco de Mayo when we launched Altissimo Live. That is so cool. What is that? Altissimo Live. And connected over 100 of the biggest names in Latin entertainment. We raised $1.7 million for the farm workers in the U.S. and Puerto Rico. So you guys, if you don't know who Liza is, definitely check her out. She's an amazing person, very heavily involved in the influencer space and just the digital media space. So has a really great insight into events and live events. And that's really cool to hear that they're being used to raise money. I mean, think about that. Think about all the charity events that exist or existed before this whole closure, where people weren't going necessarily for the in-person connection, right? Like you like seeing your friends there, but it's not like you're going over to your friend's house or you're going to a party or you're going to the bar. It's more like you're showing up to look good, be formal, make a presentation, and give back. And giving back is really at the core of these fundraising events that happen all over the world. And I think that it can really be done incredibly well through the live streaming space. You can make the community aspect of it, I think, even amplified against a physical in-person event that has actually tension. I think some of those charity events tend to have a little bit of tension. Sometimes they're a little bit uncomfortable because even though people are there to give and give back, again, there's a little bit of not showboating, but certainly showing up and showing out. And I certainly don't think there's anything wrong with that. I love showing up and showing out. I love getting dressed up. I love going to events. But I do think it takes a bit of attention and focus off of donating and off of the good cause that people are there to support. And I know that when I'm watching a live streaming event, I'm definitely not as focused on what I'm wearing or, competing in a societal aspect with other people. I'm like, we are all here to donate and to support this cause. And I think that's a cool thing that there can be more attention focused to good causes in the digital space in these digital live streaming events. Let's see. I'm going to check out some of the comments and shout out some people here. We got a great crowd going today on LinkedIn. You guys are amazing. We got Latasha again. What's good? Bridget, how's it going? We got Patelli. And if I pronounce anyone's name wrong, sincere apologies. You can pronounce my name wrong too. I'm used to it. So we're good. We got Emmanuel. How's it going? Tim, excited to do our consultation. Ian, what's good? You missed the H2H. What does H2H stand for? Tell me about it. We got Tara Lee, is that how I pronounce your name? And if I do mispronounce your name, send me a message with a voice so I can get it right the next time, because I know I'm going to be seeing you guys again and I want to get it right. All right. So Chris says virtual environments are here to stay 100%. I know Chris is very heavily involved in the virtual space and in the esports space. So that's like another kind of area just to add to live events. I mean, esports are live events. They are not treated like events in the way that gaming, like physical game, sports, stadium events are treated yet. Some of them are, the really big promoted ones are, but really every single live streaming game is an event and can be treated like an event and have these different type of event dynamics incorporated into it. And it makes it a really, really powerful communication platform, entertainment platform, community-based platform. Chris says, what's next past Zoom is the question people should be asking in the business world. So that's a really good thing. That's what I'm already thinking about. So what makes live streaming so dynamic is really the community aspects and the ability to form friendships, to engage with other people while watching something or doing something else from the safety of your home, from a really comfortable place. And there's not many features or tools that platforms have developed yet to assist with these types of things. So really the biggest thing is that you can have private and group chats within a single live stream. That's like the biggest real advancement in terms of the community building. But I think there's so many more things. Like I'm starting to see game integration, like people doing what's it called? Black Box or Blackjack TV with live streams, and, playing a game within a game while watching a game. Like it's super cool to see the different dynamics that start to form within live streaming based on community. Oh, and then he's bringing up immersive environments. Yeah, that's a whole nother subject. So that's dipping into like AR and VR and making things not only interactive in terms of, let's say, asking the audience for a response, but actually letting them participate through a response of, interacting with some game element. So that's something really cool. I think that's probably 5 years away still from being incorporated at any type of mass level. But I do talk to some larger players in the esports world, and it's really fascinating. They have large capabilities. They almost have too much data and information and capability. They don't know what to do with it because there's so much you can do with all this information from conversation. So when people are conversating through live streams, there's AI software that's able to detect and pick up on all this different really fascinating type of data that then can be used to tell you amazing information about how people interact, how people think, how people feel. So this is where I think, live streaming platforms, where any type of video conferencing platform is going to be moving, is definitely more data driven. So being able to collect and analyze more data, have more AI incorporated into it, so that, what AI does is it gets you more data and it helps you process more data. Data. So as there's more of this data, there's going to be a better understanding of how to construct these positive environments that facilitate collaboration, facilitate learning, facilitate growth, facilitate all these things that we want and would pay money for. And that's where I see it going. Ooh, I love this. Someone, Emmanuel says, next suggestive topic for you. Did it have to take a pandemic to make the virtual space more lucrative? So, that's a really good one. This is going way longer than I thought because this is really interesting. Yes. So I think that pressure always forces change. Change does not typically happen on its own. There has to be some angst to push people to do things that they wouldn't normally do. The natural state of the human being is to live in the comfortable. Even though it makes us unhappy, we actually are much more happy in a place of struggle and accomplishment, versus just being comfortable all the time. That's where people start to get really depressed, and they're like, my life is great. Why do I feel like crap? It's because you're not struggling enough. Struggle is what makes you feel good, overcoming that struggle. In terms of the lucrativeness of it, I think, it was always clear that it's going to be more and more lucrative in digital space. Like, we're transitioning from a completely physical world to at some point, mostly digital world, where all of our furniture, where physical products are digitally infused, so to speak. There's, for example, a very forward-thinking project. I can't remember which company is paying for it or sponsoring it, but at the base of a mountain, I don't want to mess up the name of the mountain, so I'm not going to say it, but at the base of a mountain in Japan, like Google or Microsoft is building a woven fabric city. So all of the components in the city are woven from a fabric that has technology built into the fabric. So, materials are starting to become smart materials. Wood is starting to become, wood that has nanotechnology in it, or there's just all these technology incorporations to where it's gonna be more and more lucrative over time, regardless of anything, whether this happened or not. Did this speed it up? Yes. That's what I think happened. Did it force it or cause it? No, it was going to happen anyways, but it certainly, I think, sped up. I miss you too, Liza. I know that you messaged me on Instagram, and then I forgot to get back to you because I suck at my Instagram messages right now. You guys, look, I'm great at social media, and I always still suck at something to do with it. I'm always slipping on something. regardless of how much you see me posting, how many messages I'm answering, how many comments I'm responding to, I still don't get to all of it either. So it's okay. Don't beat yourself up for it. That's all right. You always have the chance to reconnect later. Like, the game ain't over and there's plenty of time left on the scoreboard. So let's see if we got any more good questions before I wrap this up. Yeah. Oh no. Mainstream super slow to react. I'd even call like the US as mainstream being super slow to react to like the clear of where they live and the changes they've been going through, let's say in the past 10 or 20 years in their economy, in their digital space, in their social space. I think we could learn a ton from that here in the United States. So that's why I'm going to be having Barris, I can't remember his last name. I'm having a really, really amazing guest on here who has been deeply immersed in China culture and the business world for the past 5 years. He lives over in Shanghai. And I'm super excited to get some of his insights and feedback. I don't think we've nailed down a date just yet, but that's coming up pretty soon. All right, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate you all joining. You had some amazing comments and questions. If you're watching this afterwards, please still hit me up with any comments or questions you might have. And you can always reach out to me. I'll post up my email here. That's my email address at the bottom of the screen. You can always reach out to me there or hit me up on LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Try to be everywhere. All right, guys, have a fantastic night. I will pop on tomorrow with a little bit of Mayan in the morning.